but we didn't really get that far. Okay, so in here we've got our audio file that we're working with, and here's our vocal part. I'm just gonna go ahead and chop it right here. And if we want to take these and put this here, like so, you can see all these little lines here. These are my these are the sorry, transients. Sorry, it's hard to concentrate right now. These are my transients. Okay, and my audio arrow is just here. You just go and be wherever. We'll deal with you later. Yeah, this is really annoying with this audio interface. It's something that's going on with that thing, or the computer, the card is dying in the back. It might be, I don't know. It's possible it might be too hot. Hopefully not. All right. Anyway, so we got this here, and what's going to happen here is I can use these here. I can use this to warp stuff and move and adjust my warp on these. So what I'm going to do here is let's just go ahead and put a click track in here. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the, right? And I'm going to go ahead and go in here, and I'm just going to adjust this. So dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night, right? And move these around a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my quantize my grid off, and I'm just going to move these back a little bit. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night. Okay, let's go ahead and adjust this one over here just to kind of tighten it up. And I normally wouldn't tighten it up that much, but I just want to show y'all how to kind of do this. So every time I click on one of these, it locks it in place, and I can move it around. So this one here, it prevents everything on this side from moving around. And this over here now moves, and all this stuff stays steady. Okay. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog of the... Okay, now you heard a little bit, it kind of got off right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my warp mode into Complex Pro. That's good for vocals. We're just going to keep it like that. We're not going to change any of that stuff. And I'm going to go over here and start from here. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog. Okay, now we're going to move this back. Hey, check 1 2. Can you not hear it? Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog. Oh, okay, okay. All right, so I'm moving this around here. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night. Okay, cool. So I'm going to lock this one in because this one, the word dog is on the beat right here. But I want to move this one over here so this one is on. Now again, like I said before, this is not something I would usually do in so much detail, but I'm doing it just to show y'all how to use all this stuff. And my audio interface keeps cutting in and out. That's super annoying. I really do not know what the problem is. I'm hoping this isn't like right before the whole computer goes down. That happened to me before. Okay, anyway, we're not gonna worry about that. Dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. My dog's a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. She's a night dog. I got a night dog, y'all. All right, so we got this over here. And so just go back to the beginning over here. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, she's a night dog, I got a night dog, y'all. Awesome, perfect. Night dog, yo. Okay, let's go ahead. Yo, my dog's really cute. She turns heads on the sidewalk, but she doesn't like to wake up. She doesn't like to wake up in the morning, yo. She's a evening dog. she's a dog of the night. Yeah, my pooch is a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. Yeah, a dog of the night. She's a cool. All right, so we got that there. Yo, my dog's really cute. She turns heads on the sidewalk, but she doesn't like to wake up. She doesn't like to. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and tighten some of these up a little bit. I'm just gonna lock this in by putting a warp marker down. I'm gonna put a warp marker over here. So remember, everything over here on the left-hand side will stay as it is. Everything over here on the right-hand side will stay as it is. Just this in the middle will move around. Right, so I'm gonna put that back to where it was. And I'm just gonna move it over a little bit that way. She doesn't like to wake up in the morning, yo. Okay, cool, let's just... She doesn't like to wake up in the morning, yo. Okay, cool. Make sure we are in Complex Pro mode. Sweet. Okay, let's go back to the beginning here. Yo, my dog's really cute. She turns heads on the sidewalk, but she doesn't like to wake up. She doesn't like to wake up in the morning, yo. She's a evening dog. She's a dog of the night. Yeah, my pooch is a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. Yeah, a dog of the night. Awesome, cool. Now, let's go up here to our... Let's show you this with drums here real quick. Let's go ahead and put in a... Let's put in like a slightly different type of tone in here. I'm gonna put a piano sound in here, or something similar-ish. Okay, I've got my MIDI keyboard over here. Let's go ahead and put in some kind of like a lead sound here, because I want to show you how this works with more spaced out sounds that are not vocals. Okay, from a slightly different perspective here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go over here to this. Let's grab a mallet sound. Here, we'll use this one here, drag that in here. Cool. All right, pull that up. Put this on. Here, I'll just put this actually right here since my push is not on. Just put that on top of the push for now. See what that looks like. You get out of here. And you get out of here. Actually, wait, maybe I should keep you. Control panel. Okay. And, all right, cool, yeah, that looks good. Oh, my camera's off. Hold on a second. I didn't notice my camera's off. Well, do you need to see my face? I don't think you need to see my face. I don't think that part really matters. All right, so what we're gonna do here, go in here and we'll record like a little synth line in here. Yo, my dogs are, and we'll record it into this part right here. Dog of the night, yeah, my pooch is a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. My dog's a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. She's a night dog. I got a night dog, y'all. Cool, so we got that there. Let's go ahead and just make sure that's looks good. Grab that there. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, cool. She's a night dog, I got a night dog, y'all. Dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, yeah, a dog of the night, she's a dog of the night, my dog's a dog of the night, she's a dog. Okay, cool, so I'm gonna take this and turn this into audio. Right click, freeze track. Right click again and flatten, becomes audio like this. Now I've got this in here and you can see all these transients here. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of the ones that are not actually connected to any notes. So all these weird ones that are just kind of in the middle, I'm going to get rid of these. There's no way really to, like right now, there's no way to easily get rid of this stuff. Yeah, that's how you turn MIDI into audio. Do not eat that one. That's something you can't eat. You can eat everything else up there. All right, cool. So what I wanted to do is I just have a transient marker for every note. So there's one here, here, and see if I mouse over it, see what happens there. It kind of like goes on top of it like that. Let me just zoom in so you can see that better. See that right there? All right, so I got that. Now what we're gonna do here is take these and mess around with this audio. So first of all, I'm gonna keep it in beats mode. Now, and you might be saying to yourself, well, why is he putting this in beats mode? Because it's not a beat. And you're right, it is not a beat. What do you got? Okay, that's safe. She's bringing everything over to her backpack and sitting on the backpack. All right, so it's not a beat, but everything is spaced out. It's all separated out like a beat would be. So as long as everything is all separated out, you can put things into beats mode. Now, what I can do, once I've got this in warp over here, and warp basically allows me to mess with it disconnects the pitch and the audio. So I can actually transpose stuff. So if I go over here and so let's loop this part here. I'm going to solo this out, and you can just see what I'm doing here. I can go up here and I can pitch it up. Okay. I can also, the transpose, different transpose button. It was transposing, but that was transposing the pitch in the sample, and this is actually transposing the audio clip itself. So a different transpose button. That way is a lot smoother than this way of doing it. Because that was using a sample and I was doing it using the transpose for that. All right, so now let's go in here and let's say I want to move some of these around. Let's say I want to move this one around. So let's say I want to take this one and move it over to here. So what I would do is I can lock this one into place and I lock this one into place. And now I can move this one around freely. I grab that and move it over. And let's say I want to do the same thing. I can lock these two into place and move this one around over here. Right? And I can move, let's say I want to move this one. So I just lock the ones on either side of it into place, and now I can move this one as much as I want. But if I didn't lock those in, watch what happens. If I just grab this one and start moving it, see, it moves everything around with it. So that's why you have to lock the ones on either side in. If I hold down my command key, it'll move those into place for me as well. So that's something to keep in mind there. Let me put that metronome on. Now you'll notice that the reverb is like stopping, and the reason why the reverb is stopping is because the reverb is actually holding over between the notes. But when I move these around, it's actually stopping that reverb because I'm moving the audio around here. If I don't want that reverb to stop, but I want it to be shorter, I can adjust this value right here. And it makes it sound more natural. And I can send it over to my reverb to get a reverb back in there again. Not the same reverb, but I could make a nice reverb for this. Okay. And that's how we can use warping to manipulate our pitch, our timing of things. If we want to manipulate the pitch, let's say we want to put this down an octave, I can just go down here to my transpose and move it down an octave. Okay, I can move it up an octave. I can slow it down or speed it up, double the speed. So you can speed it up, you can slow it down, all that stuff. And that's with these buttons in here. Now, I do have different modes of my warp here, and that's what we're talking about in the notes right over here. The different modes are, let's see here, beats, tones, textures, repitch, complex, and complex pro. Okay, so beats mode basically is good for anything that's like separated out, separated type of stuff. Tones and textures are good for like pad sounds. Complex and Complex Pro are good for full songs or vocals. So my recommendation is most of the time try to use Beats mode as much as possible. If you can't use Beats mode, then I recommend going straight to Complex or Complex Pro. Tones and textures are okay. If you have like a string type of sound that doesn't have like a swirling kind of sound that doesn't have a lot going on, then you can use those. But it's not something that I really recommend using too much. And then repitch actually adjusts the pitch. And you notice when I put on repitch here, it changed the transpose. So if I move this around, it turned the transpose off. If I move this stuff around, it's going to actually mess with my pitch of that note. So really for stuff like this, I don't want to use repitch mode at all. Let me go ahead and show you with Beats mode here, what's happening with Beats mode is that it actually takes the sample and chops it up according to the transient. So here I've got all these transients in here. See all these little transient lines in here? I got all these transients in here, and each one of these now is like a chopped up sample. So there's like a sample that goes from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. All these have these like chopped up samples in here. This is what Beats mode does. It kind of chops things up. So if my beat starts out like this, it chops it up into individual parts and then spreads those parts out, but it keeps the audio the same length internally within that beat. Joe, if you remember last week, we were talking about, in Pro Tools, we were talking about ticks versus samples and elastic audio and turning on things with the loops and the MIDI, and you were talking about like having like drum loops in there and speeding that up and slowing it down and how it worked within it. Well, this is the same type of thing. With Beats mode, anything within the clip, inside the transient is going to stay the same tempo. And then if it's outside that transient, each transient is going to be reassigned according to the grid. Slightly different from the clip. Like the whole clip as a whole will adjust tempo, but each one of these little dots here, this transient marker, is going to keep the tempo inside of it. Preserve tells Live which part of the audio you want to keep natural sounding. So for example, over here, see it's got my preserve. It's right now it's set for transients. I could set that for 8th notes, 16th notes, whatever. If it's like a steady sound, you could set it for something steady here. Most of the time you want it to be set to transients. And then down here, is the kind of playback mode. It's our transient loop mode. And here's the different settings for that. You've got the no loop. It's best for drums and short detached audio. The sound retains its natural audio. Then you've got the forward loop, which live tries to fill in audio gaps by looping forward. And you've got the reverse loop, which live tries to fill in the audio gaps by looping in reverse. So for example, if I take this here and I pitch it up an octave. Whoops. Here, let's go ahead and solo it out. Now I put this into here. Listen to how it sounds. Yeah, I agree. It does sound cool sometimes. Okay, so it's not to say that any of these things don't sound cool or whatever. Really what I'm talking about with the notes is like how to keep things more natural sounding. And it's not about things sounding cool or not cool or whatever. It's more about things sounding natural. I actually highly recommend that you try out different warp modes. So for example, if we go over here to tones, or texture, right? It sounds cool. It doesn't sound natural. So that's the difference in this, and that you can use different techniques for different things depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're doing sound design and stuff like that, then this stuff can sound really cool. But if you are trying to keep things sounding like natural and normal, then you definitely don't want to use that. So the transient envelope, here's this little thing right here. That's this one right here. And that, what it does is it basically affects the sustain of each transient. So 100 is full on, it's just going to sustain. 50 is less sustain, 0 is no sustain. So for example, if I go in here and I have it set like this, and I set to... Right, so here's this. You can hear how long it sounds. But you can hear the gap between each note. So for this kind of a sound, right, you want to have less of a gap between each sound. This sounds more natural, and we can add the reverb back in by sending it over to our own reverb. Right? So again, just like with anything else, I highly recommend that you try the stuff out on your own and see how you like it, how you don't like it, that kind of stuff there. All right, then we got tones and textures for sustained sounds that don't have a lot of transients. It's not good for drums, it's great for pads, really cool for special effects. So for example, if I have like a pad sound in here, here, let me make a pad sound. For those of you who don't know what a pad sound is, it's just like a kind of a long sustained type of sound. So here's pads. Like this sound here, right? So yeah, pads are cool, right? Here, actually, let's try. Let's use this one, actually. You get stuck in sound design. Yeah, that happens. You gotta push yourself out of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and hit record. so I got that there. And I'm just going to go ahead and trim the ends of this. Now, what we're going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and turn this into, make sure we're in the right place here. That kind of moved over through. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze and flatten, turn it into audio. And you can see it's got all this extra stuff here on the end, which we're going to get rid of here for a second. And I'm going to go ahead and put a compressor on here so it doesn't like overpower us. Let's use the multiband dynamics. Cool. Now, if we want to take this and turn it up an octave, put up an octave right there, boom. Now, if we're in beats mode, check out how this works here. It's going to sound really weird. I can make it stronger by doing this to it so you can hear it more. We can make it more smoother. Still sounds pretty gross though. Let's go ahead and put it in tones mode. Tones mode sounds a little bit smoother. Tones mode sounds kind of phasey. Change this grain size. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. Textures mode. Should sound a bit better. Again, it's pretty phasey sounding. These settings don't sound too bad right here. If you put it with everything, let's put a filter on top of it as well. Right, so now you can't really hear that it's got this warp mode on it. Let's go ahead and try out, here, let me turn off that filter. Let's go ahead and try out these others here. Complex. Yeah. That sounds better. And Complex Pro. It got rid of that really high sound. Hear the difference there? So here's Complex Pro. By itself, you can hear all the weirdness. This one here lets some of the sounds come through, the frequencies. Let's go ahead and here. Take that out a little bit more. Yeah, and this is where having that's all right sounding. There's a lot of low energy in here that I don't love. Get rid of all that hissing sound. Sounds a little bit better there. Okay, now. So as you can see, is if you wanted to do something as extreme as this, I definitely need to get my other audio interface in here. If you want to get something quite as extreme as this, then an octave is a lot. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like it would be, but an octave is a lot. It's like twice. So it's doing a lot of work here. Keep in mind also that the more you're running these elastic audio clips, the more clips you have running at the same time, the more you're going to hit your CPU up here. You're going to see it more up here and have like it's going to be a harder time for your computer to kind of keep up with it. Okay, so that's up there. Now, repitch is like a record player or a sampler. Let's use that with my drums over here, this hi-hat line, the shaker loop. So the shaker loop, I'm going to go ahead and put this into repitch, and we can hear how that changes it. Now the reason why it was working before is because I'm using beats mode with my eighth notes preserved and stopping in between each one. So let's go ahead and change this. 16th notes. See how much that changes everything? Changes the rhythm, changes everything. So, but if I put it into here, if I put it into tones mode, that sounds horrible. It sounds like the Matrix. Textures mode sounds bad. Complex sounds okay. Complex Pro does not sound good. And then repitch brings it down an octave or something like that. But for me, I can clean it up as well. There we go. That sounds better. And, you know, yeah, you kind of really want that. Nice. There you go. With, you know, get that room, that bass line room to breathe. Right? Now we could combine this. Actually, there's a thing we could do here, which is kind of cool. Here's like a little trick for you. You can use auto pan. Offset the phase on auto pan. There we go. And now I've got that in here. That's a cool little trick you can use to cut that up. If I solo this out, now we've got the lower, the pitch down, and then we're using auto pan to do a cut into it, a rhythmic cut. And you can adjust this, do some adjusting here. Yeah, that sounds pretty good there. Now let's turn that. There we go. Level down. Turn that up a little bit. There we go. We just want it barely in there, right? Cool. Okay. So there you go. So you can, you know, it's using a few different techniques. So finally talking about Complex and Complex Pro. These are great for full songs. They're also good for repitching vocals. So let's take my vocals in here and go back to those. Get my vocals back up. Yep. yo, my dog's really cute. All right, let's pitch this down. Put the formants down, put the envelope down, formants all the way down to 0, and transpose me down like a few. There we go.
Yo, my dog's really cute. She turns heads on the sidewalk, but she doesn't like to wake up. She doesn't like to wake up in the morning, yo. She's a evening dog. She's a dog of the night. Yeah, my pooch.
Or
she's a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night. Yeah, a dog of the night. She's a dog of the night.
My dog's a dog of the night. I got a night dog, y'all.
Dog of the night.
She's a dog of the night. Yeah, a dog of the night.
she's a dog of the night.
My dog's
Okay, so there you go. Now you cannot actually automate the transpose here. The transpose doesn't have automation, so if you wanted to get some kind of weird thing like that going on, you'd have to actually like record it into another track, which is stuff that I have totally done before. Highly recommend messing around with stuff like that, but you can't record it in its automation. Cool. All right. So let's just take a look. Yeah, it's gonna be up on YouTube. I am recording. Yep. All right, good. So let's go ahead and take a look at these notes here real quick. The segment BPM is down here, and it basically here, if I go in here, it tells you what the BPM is between each one of these transients here. That's what our segment BPM does. Oh, my dog is now, yep, okay. It was bound to happen. And that's right over here. That's the segment BPM here. And so this is good for like things like if you have a track like this and you want to see like what is the BPM of it. If you're bringing in like a loop from somewhere else, you can see what the BPM is right there. And then if you want to if you want to adjust the tempo, if you want to see like something here, you can click on it and move it. See how it's changing my segment BPM right over here? You can actually see what that does and how that changes the tempo there. And this is really good for like when you're importing songs and stuff for DJs and whatnot. If you're going to DJ with Ableton Live, or if you're going to make do some like looping things with it. It's something we are going to talk about next time, not today. That's more advanced stuff. Okay, live and audio files. Whenever you drag an audio file into Live, it analyzes the audio and creates an ASD file in the same folder on your hard drive. Do not delete this file. If you make changes to the audio file's clip, those changes are saved to the session, not the clip. So if you drag that same audio file into a new session, it will not have the same changes. If you want the changes to apply to the audio and the other clip, then you have to save them to the .asd file. So what that's talking about is, like for example, this right here. And over here, there's like a save button here. If I go look and find this file on my computer, show in Finder, you can see it's got this here, because I actually froze and flattened this in. So it's got this, it's got a wave file here, and it's got this wave.asd file. This wave.asd file is the Ableton session data file, and that's the file I'm talking about right here. And so if I drag this wave file into another session, it's not going to have if I go in here and I say, let me put the transpose up here, and I change it to warp mode, to beats mode, these like changes that I've made here, it's not going to have those changes in the next session. But if I click the save button here, now when I drag it into another session, it's going to have the transpose be up 12 steps, and then it's going to be in preserve. It's going to have all these settings here, so it'll come in exactly like it is right now. And all these warps and everything will be in there as well. So that's all saved into this file right here, this .asd file. See how I just saved it and it says today at 12:15. That's because it's 12:15 right now, and that's when I saved it. But the actual wave file was made at 11:44. So you can only have one ASD file per audio file. You can't have multiple ones per audio file if in the folder that it lives in. So if you make changes in another session or something, it's going to apply them to that ASD file. And that's all this right here. And when you import whole songs into Ableton Live, with modern songs, you actually won't have to do a whole lot of work. With older songs, you'll have to do a lot of work for adjusting things and messing with stuff. So let me just show you real quick. Let's grab a, let's see what I got here. Oh, I know what I can grab. I can grab, let's see. Well, you know what? I'm gonna stop the recording here because here, because it would mute all the audio if I have this in here. Let's grab a, let's see here. Yeah, I can't grab a song, an older song. I guess I could grab a classical song if I have it. I don't think I have any on my computer right now though. Yeah, let's do this another time in a different video because I don't want it to be part of this video here. Let me go ahead and stop this.